Good afternoon, and thank you for joining our Connections webinar, Foreside Partner Spotlight, Mars Salesfocus Solutions, where our panelists will give an overview of the Mars Foreside Sales Reporting Partnership. And with that, I will turn it over to Rob.
Thank you, Beth. So my name is Rob Carboni. I'm with the Foreside Broker-Dealer Operations Department, and I'm here with Dave Halligan from Mars Salesfocus Solutions to talk about our recent partnership arrangement. It's another in a series of strategic partnerships, that are meant to enhance Foreside's distribution offerings and also allow us to continue providing customized and cost-effective options to our clients. And this one in particular has kind of been a long time in the making. Foreside Management has known Mars for 20 years. We've known Dave specifically for more than a handful. Dave, why don't you kick us off by telling us a little about your background, please?
Thanks, Rob. So I've been in the asset management industry for 25 years now, and I've been with Salesfocus Solutions promoting the Mars product to the asset management industry for close to 7 years. And my background has always been in the software side of the asset management business. And being able to work with the folks at Salesfocus Solutions for me has been very enjoyable because we have a product that I can stand behind and promote and built relationships over the past several years with several asset management firms that have become Mars clients and the ones that have been Mars clients for close to 20 years. And it's been great to have this partnership with Foreside that we worked through over the past year, and very excited to be able to share with all of your clients how the partnership can benefit them and their business.
That's perfect. Thank you. Next slide, please. And Dave, why don't you, kind of give us your elevator pitch and explain how Mars can benefit Foreside clients?
Sure. So at its core, Mars is a sophisticated transactional and business intelligence platform for sales and asset data across multiple products, including mutual funds, ETFs, SMAs, UCITS, SICAVs, and insurance products. If there's a financial services or asset management product out there that has a data set, we can create an interface for it and be able to provide you some intelligence behind the data that you're bringing in for those various products. And we have a long history of doing that. Behind the scenes, Mars has a group of seasoned professionals that load, monitor, cleanse, aggregate, match, and summarize all the data from the transfer agent and all the other intermediaries on a daily basis. This allows a client to access critical sales intelligence to understand buying trends at specific firms, offices, and down to the advisor level. Perhaps even more important, Rob, is the manual, resource-intensive effort that the asset management firm may be engaged in to make sense of this data. We alleviate that and replace it with our expertise and efficiency, allowing the existing staff to focus more on what they're actually hired to do, such as marketing, sales, etc. So we have a long history of essentially bringing order to some of the chaos that can get created by the various sales and asset data feeds. In addition to that, Mars has its own native CRM, but we also provide a real-time bi-directional integration with Salesforce. And this is our custom package that we maintain and support and have been doing for over 7 years. Now, in addition to that CRM functionality and integration, we also integrate various third-party data sources such as competitive market share data packs, RIA data, firm data packs, and vendor data packs. In essence, the intent is for Mars to be the one-stop shop for all sales and asset-related data. And an example of how we continue to provide value to our clients, earlier this year, we partnered with ISS Market Intelligence, allowing Mars clients to leverage their competitive market share data set and have it integrated into Mars. And there is a cost benefit that goes along with that. So any of the Foreside clients that might be interested in that could be a separate discussion that we could have with them as well.
Right. Right. That's excellent. And, I think what brings most of our clients to us to have these discussions are the challenges, around the various data sources that you were just talking about, because, whether a firm is trading into a single omnibus account or they're holding individual networked accounts for each of the underlying shareholders, they're still presenting data challenges for our clients. Because if you want to know what's going on inside your Morgan Stanley or your LPL omnibus account, you're going to need to receive and interpret, sub-accounting data files. But likewise, even if you're trying to make sense of the Pershing activity that's going on, across their 1,000 networked accounts, you need to be able to decipher those dealer, branch, and rep code combinations. And the only way to really do that, efficiently and effectively is through a vendor relationship like this that has those internal data translation tables, and most importantly, the ability to take in all those various data files. Great. Let's go to the next.
Yeah, Rob, thank you for mentioning that, because I think it's important, as this slide points out, where on the back end, or if you could, look at it as the back office, we have all of the data cleansing services that we provide. So we have a registered rep database where we maintain close to 750,000 CRDs. And then in addition to that, it allows us to provide proactive updates across all of our clients. So for example, if Rob Carboni made a trade with UBS, and you had a relationship with him in the Naples, Florida office, but then Rob changed and went to an LPL office, but you didn't know that, and you continued to call on him until he made a trade with his new firm, we have the ability to track that in real time and then make those updates across all of our clients' instances, so that information is not stale and it's kept up in a proactive rather than reactive way. We also have the ability to provide team data, which is a new offering that we've been working on and have recently launched to our clients. And we also provide some prospecting data where we've partnered with a third-party firm to do that. So that's all the behind-the-scenes work that gets done for our clients. And then they're able to access this through the actual Mars interface. So whether or not it is done through the Mars web app or the mobile app, or it gets integrated with the Salesforce integration, or we do a data extract into a data warehouse, or we have the ability to allow the client's IT group to extract data from the back end of Mars. There's a lot of flexibility in how we're able to deliver the business intelligence that our clients need. And as you can see from some of these statistics on this slide, we have a wide range of clients across the board, where we have approximately 3 trillion in AUM across all of our clients. We clean over 10 million transactions a month, and as I mentioned, we have our registered rep database. So that just gives you an idea of the depth and breadth that we have and that we bring to our clients.
Yeah, that's great, and I think actually it leads nicely into the next slide. Because Foreside, I think, has a similar diversity in terms of client base. We have clients that are at $10 million AUM. We have clients that are at $250 billion AUM. How is it that a single sales reporting solution or system can be used at both ends of the spectrum like that, Dave?
Yeah, that's a good question, Rob. And what we've seen over the years is that although each one of our clients leverages the same Mars platform, not all of them use it to the fullest extent that it can be used in terms of all the various reporting and query capabilities and additional integrations that can be leveraged or various CRM integrations. So what we have done is we've created a couple of different models so that we can target the full scope of the Foreside client base. So if you were to look at a client that might be a one fund startup, there's a solution for that. Or if you have a client that has several billion in AUM, we have a solution for that. So what we did for the Foreside clients was we created two distinct models. So for firms with more than 5 billion in AUM, we can work with that firm to implement their own standalone Mars environment. And we would work with, we would work with you directly, Rob, obviously, to get the TA and all of the other intermediary data and have it set up into that own Mars environment, that standalone environment. And that could be a brand new setup. It could be migrating from a manual in-house process, or it could be a conversion from an existing vendor. And the depth and breadth of experience that we have in both cases would allow us to be able to provide a solution to either. Now, the second option would be for a firm with under 5 billion in AUM. So we've created, a threshold, and it can be flexible if they're a little over 5 billion, but they just need this model. We can, work with that. But we call that our reporting only model. In this case, we, as we've done with some clients thus far, Rob, as you know, we work closely with you to set up all the necessary data feeds and product data into a Mars environment that gets managed by Foreside. And we provide reports that we agree upon prior to implementation, specific to that client's business needs, requirements, and frequency. So all the data would be run through the same processes, the data cleansing, the unified registered rep database that we've already discussed. The only difference in the reporting only model would be the client would not have access to their own Mars environment, but Foreside would. So if they had a question, you could go in and run a report, as you're very familiar with the clients that we already have on board. Also, in this reporting only model, it has been common as a firm grows where they have their option to evolve into their own standalone Mars environment if their business continues to grow and exceed that 5 billion AUM threshold.
No, that's great. And I think that, I think it's, having been through it now, I can vouch for the fact that it's an extremely collaborative effort, right? I mean, Foreside, obviously, we have those existing client relationships, so we can really help facilitate, analyzing their existing shareholder data, vetting, working with Mars, with their TA in order to identify the scope of the project, confirm which of these models we just spoke about is right for the client, help them vet required data sources, and ultimately, with our industry reach, obviously now combined with Mars, ultimately engage with these firms from which our clients are going to need data sources, because in a lot of cases, our clients aren't sure exactly where to go, or in a lot of cases, even what's available. So we can help kind of hold hands through that process. Great. I think the reporting only model too is really kind of a difference maker in the industry. I think that it really does allow for these smaller asset managers to receive such critical information at affordable and predictable monthly prices. So as Dave mentioned, in that instance, Foreside has the access to the Salesfocus solution, and under that model, we're really hoping to agree to provide kind of canned sales reporting reports on a predetermined basis. So that typically means, a daily sales reporting report on T+2, the goal of which is basically to attach an FA's name to every applicable transaction within our clients' funds.
That's right, Rob. And one of the things that I just want to highlight, I get asked this question, quite a bit. Like, how do you separate or distinguish yourselves from, similar vendors in the industry. And the first thing that I always go back to is that we provide flexible solutions for clients of all sizes. So we're not trying to fit the asset manager into our model. We work with each client individually and assess what their business processes, their business flows, what their goals are, what their current challenges are, what they're looking to solve. And we really take a holistic view of how we can make it work for them, because Mars is used differently or in different models across all of our clients. So as I mentioned before, some use it specifically for sales reporting only. Some use it with our CRM. Others use it where we integrate into Salesforce. And then others connect to the back end of Mars so that they can then have a VPN data connection. So we allow them to connect to the back end of Mars, and then they can extract data and be able to load that into a data warehouse, a data lake, whatever the term is that is being used today, and then leverage that information outside of the Mars interface where typical internals and externals may be logging onto the system. So we certainly don't cap the ability to be able to take data out of Mars and leverage that for the success of the business. The other thing is that we have a great reputation across the industry. We have some very well-known firms that are our clients, and we're very customer-centric and focused. And on top of that, I do believe, and I've seen other systems, that we do have a best-in-class technology. And most importantly, we have long-term tenured employees with specific industry knowledge. I really think that's important. And when I came over 7 years ago, the technology was very impressive to me, but also the fact that most of the senior management people and their staff had been there for, on average, 8 to 10 years, and a lot of the senior management over 20 years.
Yeah, well, I think you've really highlighted the fact that Foreside, Mars, we have very similar organizational philosophies, and it seems natural that we kind of ended up in this partnership. I think that you've explained what led us to you, why we've chosen Mars to partner with. I think you've done a good job of explaining why your existing clients have chosen Mars in what is an extremely competitive landscape. So I think Beth, I think next slide, for those that want to learn more, a few different options. Please always feel free to reach out to your Foreside relationship manager. You can reach out to Dave directly, schedule an introductory call. Again, if you go through a Foreside relationship manager, we can certainly loop in Dave and his team for those types of introductory calls as well. And also, obviously, feel free to do a little more digging on your own by visiting the website at sfsmars.com. And
Thanks,
Beth,
Rob. I really appreciate the time, and Beth, the time for us to be able to share what we consider a very valuable partnership with Foreside.
Yeah, that was excellent, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us. And Beth, back to you.
Great, thank you. And thank you for joining us. That concludes our presentation. Again, if you have any questions or need any further information at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to either Mars or Foreside.